Hello and welcome back to Canadian Disc Golf Productions. I am Chris Brown.
And I am Galen Naidu-Harris. One of these days, I'm going to answer with like that line that Iron Man gives in Avengers Endgame. You just say, I'm Chris Brown. Like, I am Iron Man. And then I'll snap my fingers and nothing will happen because it's not a movie. We're just recording disc golf commentary.
Could be a movie. We
Could be.
Camera.
Could be. Anyway.
Sorry, let's get back.
It's not a movie. Welcome back. Riverside Rumble, round 2, but it's actually round 1 of play. It's just the second Riverside Rumble. Back 9. Thanks again to the sponsors for making this possible. These tournaments wouldn't come together without you, so we're grateful for the support.
Yeah, check them out. Anytime a sponsor helps out with a tournament or coverage or anything like that, make sure to let them know how much you love it, because it really helps out in the back end. Yeah,
100%. Helps us grow the game, helps an awful lot of stuff for this golf community. So you see people showing us love, show them some love back.
It's true. So this is, again, the back 9 of the first round of the round 2 of the Riverside Rumbles.
Of the River Rumble round.
So make sure if you haven't seen the first 9, go back and watch it. It was fun.
Don't be silly. Go back, check it out. There's some cool shots.
Good putts.
Chris is giving good commentary. I'm giving lackluster commentary, but it's okay. We have a good time. Yeah. And we got our same guys back. We got Chris, we got Cameron, we got Double G, and we got some more disc golf.
And we got to start off with a doozy, a 435-foot par 3.
Yeah, that's a pump. Doesn't look like there's any favorable elevation or anything either, unless I'm missing it. It's just a little downhill, but that's not. You're not getting much.
No, we had a fair amount of wind for this tournament. It was like just above comfortable, I would say. What is this?
Well,
that is so big.
When I'm throwing 435 feet, I like to have wind to help me. So
yeah.
Wow, that was massive. Kind of got held up by the tree on the way back in on re-entry as the shuttle re-entered the atmosphere, but put that way up high and bit off a big chunk.
I don't know if that was his. I don't know if he was trying to go that high. Like, it is a good play. It is safe, but it doesn't get you close to the basket for the easy 3. Gigi just turns us over a little too much. Kept it in bounds, though. Definitely the path is OB left.
It's going to be tough for a guy as tall as him to try and find a path underneath those branches, though. I'm not quite sure what Cam's looking at here, but it just sort of was going right for that tree the whole way, unfortunately. I think maybe he was thinking wide hyzer and just didn't take it wide enough.
Either that or he was trying to go on the inside gap and just pulled it a little bit. It's easy to do on a 435-foot hole. Well,
I find I throw the least accurate when I'm trying to throw the hardest. I don't know if that's something that replicates itself across all disc golfers, but when I'm just really trying to pump something, I get way less accurate.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
number 1 recommendation.
Tell me how to live my life.
Gigi has to go with this awkward 200-foot spike hyzer, but does it really well.
Executes great. Yeah.
He had that tree on the right that if he pushed it too far, he was gonna have some trouble. So played it perfectly in my mind. Yeah. Well,
I would have preferred it if he threw it further and nowhere near where he was going. Always throw far, kids. Who cares if you throw accurate? That's what I say.
That's what the AM2 player says. Yes.
That is correct.
Cameron with almost trying to drop one in there for the long 3.
Yeah, that was a good look at it.
The
Chris really pinched off here under the tree.
He must have thrown this very far to be that close to the basket, because he's probably 60 feet out on the 4 and 3.
Yeah.
And he threw it 300 feet in the air.
I was going to say, and he mashed it way up there too. Crazy. G.
I guarantee you Cameron is a very tall dude, and he just looks tiny compared to these two human beings.
Yeah, I don't want to know what I'd look like as like a 5'7", 5'8" guy on a cart with these two. Like waist height.
Nice putt from Chris. Just cleaning up here. It looks like all the difficulties on the drive about getting yourself into a decent spot to just take your easy 3.
Yep.
There was no 2s on the day. There was no birdies on the day. There were a couple 4s, including Cameron. Interesting hole. It's really not scoreable at this level, so
that's a tough hole to score. I think you need a big throw in if you want any chance.
Or like a ridiculously long roller or something like that would be cool.
We said we like the holes that are exactly even like 300. How do we feel about holes that are one off of being a round number, like 229 or like 399?
Yes.
I'm like, just give us the extra foot.
Exactly. So from what I understand, there's 2 again, 229, not far.
Whoa.
Chris drops the spike hyzer.
Way up high. Spike hyzer forehand.
So we're about to showcase the two shots. So the big spike hyzer around left is the common play, but if you don't have the big spike forehand, you got to take the skinny low gap here. It is safer going the skinny gap because there's no OB that way unless you get over the fence, but it's a lot more technical. Is Cameron going to prove me wrong? No, he's not. Okay, I thought he was heading towards the OB.
No, he survives.
With a long
Actually,
look.
not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you want a close look on a hole as short as this, but, I mean, technical. And I don't think I would be anywhere near the circle if it were me, so.
Chris, really with a great shot and just pinched off behind this tree. There's one tree and there's a whole area, and he found it.
Yeah, it just seems rude. But fires back out. Tap in your 3, go on with your day. No issues. Cam gives it the old college try.
Yeah,
and it's standing up.
Yeah, that's probably maybe 25 feet away.
That's more distance than you'd like, or more than I would have expected with the execution on his first putt. Yeah, unfortunately can't connect on the comebacker.
Wow.
It's kind of a bad break.
That's 3 bogeys in a row for Cameron after that really strong start.
What's the opposite of a turkey? Like, what do you call it when you get 4 bogeys in a row? What's another Thanksgiving dish? Pumpkin pie?
No, pumpkin pie.
Cranberry sauce? That sounds like something I would say if I was mad.
Yeah,
You hit 3 bogeys in a row. Cranberry sauce.
Some pickled beets.
Beets, yeah.
Definitely, that was definitely some pickled beets.
There's something there. We'll workshop it.
Yeah. We'll have it for you for next video.
Oh yeah.
For round two.
Well, hopefully there are no pickled beets back to back bogeys, but if there are, we'll be ready.
And that's it.
And our pros are getting ready for this hole. 259 feet. Looks like the basket's pretty much straight ahead, but you get a couple of routes you can choose from. How you want to get there. And
Chris is going the spike hyzer
chooses
route.
the super high route, just like he did moments ago on that massive 435-foot hole. Looks like Double G's looking in a similar, a similar section.
Yeah, just based on the shape of this hole, that does seem like the play. If you just get it up high and right, and the wind might be kind of fighting them here, but as
I don't know where that is relative to the basket, but feels like it might have taken an unfortunate skip.
It's not a good win for this shot.
Cameron looks like he's dodging and ducking between branches and leaves on the way in, but okay, so Double G came in on the good side there then.
That's
very
a
nice.
Small gap to hit from 260 feet away.
That sure is. Get in there,
Cameron.
Cameron, you sicko.
That was amazing.
Jeez.
Well done, but yeah, because look at Chris just pushed it maybe 5 feet too long, and now he has to ante this into the basket.
Brutal.
Gives it a good run, but
sure does.
I don't think those are the type of trees that you can just aim for and hope for the best.
No, I don't think so. There's a lot of density in there.
Yeah, GG from probably circle 2, just inside circle 2.
Ooh, gives it an honest bid.
The branch across his face with
that's annoying.
with an arrow on it.
Especially at his height. Like, for me, I'm just like, I just duck under that. I don't think Greg has that option.
Well, he might actually be lucky that he can putt over it.
True.
Trees in his ears telling him, talking him through this
nice putt. Very nice.
Pretty good. Yeah, that was definitely right in his putting stroke. That was definitely higher than he would normally putt.
Yep.
So
yeah, so to get up and over that and in, it's impressive.
Good on him for adjusting.
Absolutely. Tap in there for Chris.
Yeah, this hole was not birdied, and I can totally understand why.
Yeah, it looks tough to connect for a clean look.
Yeah,
there's just a lot of stuff in the way.
Yeah, and just so far into that gap, and you have to get kind of lucky. So
I can see lots of people having 50, 60 foot looks, and usually a couple of those will go in. But if you got a field of 6, you're not always going to have one of those drop.
So
I wonder who that guy was photobombing there.
Yeah.
I love it.
It is a public use park, so it's got to deal with the pedestrians and be courteous.
Sometimes there are kids running up while you're driving.
That's
Sometimes
true.
there's a guy while you're taking photos of the course.
350. Whoa, I thought that branch looked like it was going to eat that disc. 350 feet.
Wow. And just great execution there.
Yeah.
Puts it right in the bullseye.
Yeah, onto this hillside with OB road everywhere.
So I was just thinking, man, this is technical. 350, OB road everywhere. You got pedestrians probably not far behind the basket. There's a river there too. I mean, hopefully nobody's putting it there, but...
Like an abbreviated run up from GG. Maybe not getting the... Oh, as he catches the pole.
Yeah. Hopefully that, there's nothing about crossing a certain point, but yeah, assuming there's not, still a pretty technical shot if he's just playing it where it lies and he's got to throw something into an islandy-ish hillside.
Looks high. I know you want to get high up on this hill, so the height is not a problem. Is it far enough?
I think it comes up, well, obviously just a little short, but I think it's pretty in line with the basket, thankfully. Yep. Just checks up. Not far from that path, though.
So since Gigi's on this side of the road, I'm assuming this is an island, and he now has to go to a drop zone.
I think you must be right.
Oh, as he catches metal on the way by.
Cam gives it a real good effort.
Yeah, this must be the drop zone. Definitely a death putt if you're looking at it. That's right down the hill.
Yeah, and Greg just gives it one of those, sort of floaty bids. If it stays in the air long enough, great, but I'm trying to put it underneath the basket. Kind of half runs. Smart of him.
I don't know if that was an any mount run from GG, but I can see what you mean. If you got a little bit of lift, it would have been nice. But
yeah, it looked like the wind was kicking, and it was one of those ones where if you hit the headwind just right, it might pop up a little bit, but who knows? This is why you make the big bucks, Chris.
So Chris Towe, the only birdie on the day, which it's kind of surprising. 350 feet is not that hard, but you look at GG catching the pole, and he probably would have been up there for a chance. So anything can happen on the field.
Feels like a lot of ways to make par on that hole.
No, I think we're thinking the opposite. Very few ways to make par. Either you're birdieing it or you're bogeying it, in my opinion.
Well, I'm thinking there's what's going on here? Well, yeah, I guess if it's playing as an island, that would be. I was thinking that there was a layup zone.
No.
Yeah.
357 feet. Chris going with the forehand. He's got a great forehand, but I don't think I don't know. He's not really known for his forehand ability, so
357 is a serious forehand. Looks like he puts that well over 300 though, so probably edge of circle one.
Yeah, definitely has it. Just this looks like a tough backhand, especially in the wind, to hold that angle the whole way.
Well, I don't know many players in Ontario with a 357-foot forehand, so there's no shame in saying that's a really tough thing to do. But he executes well. Gives himself a look. Cam unfortunately catches a tree, and Double G is definitely not throwing a forehand. Lining up that forehand backhand.
No, this is such a hard turnover because if you turn over too much, the OB right and left, it should.
If there's anybody I would trust to throw a backhand here, it would be Greg, but I wouldn't be throwing it myself.
And it just gets turned over a little bit, catches the same tree that Cameron gets, but gets a fortuitous roll.
Slipped in a fortuitous on me there, right? Nice. Good vocabulary word.
I read a dictionary.
That sounds lame. You should just read books that have the word fortuitous in it. It's more fun.
Yeah. It's too much brain power.
It's too much work. All right.
But still well outside circle one, looking like he has to Anheuser it around this tree to get a good look at it. Yeah, and then that off the water there, I guarantee that wind's raging hard, pushing on the flight plate there. You're never going to get it high enough.
Yeah, it's going to be pushing really hard coming off the water. That's a good point. Ooh.
Chris just tickles one off the left-hand side.
I don't know what's going on there, but we got Cam and Greg smiling in the background.
Very cheery card, maybe, but that was the first left side we missed. Well, pure left side miss we've seen from Chris, so let's hope he can put that back together.
I got faith.
Putting's hard if you haven't heard.
Yeah, especially if you ask me. Putting is very hard.
Bunch of threes for our feature card on 14. It's honestly, I guess they all stay in bounds, which is quite impressive. But
yep, all stayed in bounds, all got up and down. And here we are on to hole 15, 365 feet. You got a bit of a low ceiling off the tee, and a couple of lines you can look at. Looks like maybe we're looking a little high here. We get options anyway.
This looks like a really long throw for 365 feet of pure hyzer over the trees.
That's what I was just thinking. That's got to be a pump to get up and over and around. Looks like hyzer's out a little hard into the woods there. Tough to say for sure.
Does. I don't know exactly if he got out or not. It's just that just seems so far. Probably a play for an easy 3 because this gap looks tiny.
Yeah. And okay, drop sort of center fairway. Probably want to bite off a little bit more than that, but I mean honestly, if you're staying in the middle, you can't be too upset.
Yeah, I'll have a low hyzer into the basket from there. Probably unobstructed. Great throw. This is a GG hole if I've ever seen one as well. Just low ceiling, gentle turnover.
Yeah, I don't know if it was when we were recording something at some point or what, but I remember you and I talking about how Gigi sort of got that Calvin Heimberg like low blast power. Just this hole feels perfect for him.
Yeah, as I said, unobstructed from Cameron right up to the basket.
Yeah.
Should be no more than 15 feet away.
Yeah, great upshot.
I gotta get Gigi to teach me this particular upshot throw he does because it's just so easy.
Well, I mean, you're not that far off of him in skill level. I just need Gigi to teach me everything, and you also. So we'll get a double, what are those things called when people teach each other? You pay for it? There's a word for it. I can't remember.
I don't know. That's a good point.
Clinic. Clinic is the word I was looking for. I have to get a double Gigi Chris Brown clinic that I can pay for.
Chris gets, I want to say lucky.
I think he gets away with it a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, he could have been so much farther into those bush and have nothing, so he's good to get out there inside circle 1 for the
friggin' runs it from back there too like an animal. I love it. Yeah, I thought he was going to be deeper for sure, so that's a good result.
Ooh, just over the rim for Chris.
Yeah, a couple of low putts this round, but no pictures, no gifts on the scorecard. That was in the basket.
Cameron, 15 feet. A little elevated basket.
Oh, that's no fun.
Elevates the putt on the elevated basket.
Yeah.
That's one you got to make, unfortunately for Cameron, but we've seen him putting. We know he's a good putter, so that's just one they maybe got to have. Maybe the wind. It's hard to see which way the wind's going, but
yeah. Well, he's canned a few big ones, and so you never want to use that sort of as like credit to not can ones that you'd like. But you know, his putting still as a whole has been solid today, so you sort of miss out on one. It's not the end of the world.
Then we get off to hole 16, 492 feet par 4. There's not much to say about this one. It's just you get it out there as far as you can, and you got to make your upshot and make it count.
Yeah.
This is when you kind of expect yourself to 3. If you can get a big forehand out there and just get it in bounds or a big turnover. Yeah,
take a big bite off and then take a little nibble and tap it in.
Every inch of distance on this one is so much easier for your upshot.
Yeah. Yeah, it really makes a difference.
That one I want to say is decent, but maybe he just sawed it off a little bit, trying to keep it safer than maybe he was anticipating.
Yeah, stay away from that path and just make sure it's in play. It's probably the smart move, but yeah, every once in a while you get one that'll sort of filter a little further than you like. Nice shot there from Gigi. Keeps it low and blasts it and should be well positioned for an upshot.
Cameron, after that missed putt, let's see if he can redeem himself here.
Get under it.
Ooh, very close to that pole.
That air bounce there.
Yeah,
pops him up too high.
Again, this is all about the second shot. It doesn't really matter where you put yourself. If you execute on the second shot, you're laughing here for the birdie.
For sure.
As he does exactly that, putting himself similar distance.
Yep. I feel like Cameron might be laughing. We'll see. Double G, checking the wind.
Interesting choices. You can either go left gap on a flex shot or right gap on a much skinnier but maybe a little bit more one angle hyzer gap. Kind of put himself in a spot where it's hard to pick, and that can get troublesome sometimes.
Well, yeah, it looks like I'm just sort of looking at him, maybe watching the gears turn. It feels like he's thinking about both options. And elects to try and go up the middle, but catches that tree, unfortunately. And I have no idea if this is what's going on. I was just sort of trying to make a guess, but I know sometimes with myself, when you're trying to pick between two shots on the left or the right side of a gap, sometimes you just put it in the middle. Even if you're doing your darndest to pick one side, in your head you still haven't chosen.
Yeah, Chris doesn't
yeah.
swing that out wide enough either. Sucks because they both put themselves in decent spots to get up and down pretty easily, and both just couldn't hit that really open gap.
Yeah, if we'd had a freeze frame and I could have, placed a $1 bet on somebody to put an upshot into the basket, I would have definitely put one on Gigi and on Chris, but sometimes life gets in the way.
Chris giving it a good run for his three, but
yeah.
Maybe the wind keeps that up, or he just committed a little bit too much to that and put himself at 20 feet.
Too much spinach this morning, maybe.
Yeah.
Too strong.
Gigi from almost circle's edge, maybe even just outside circle. Definitely not the upshot he was looking for on that hyzer.
Yeah, I thought he left himself less, but I guess that skip at the end.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was going to say, though, if there's somebody I trust to make that putt and make it look easy, he's high up that list.
I'd probably put that one just inside circle if I had to guess.
Yeah.
And then Chris down here probably 25 feet away.
Yep, sounds about right. Camera adding 10 feet.
It's
Or
tough.
I guess taking away what you see, but we'd give them credit for being further away than they look, I think.
There's a way to say that. We're just not getting it right now.
Hey, we'll get it someday.
Yeah. There you go. Nice putt from Chris as well. Dead center. Very confident.
Yeah, you love to see it. And now Cam cleaning up, looking to gain some redemption here after that missed putt that he probably wasn't too happy about last round, or last hole.
There
Easy
you go.
money.
Yeah. He took the elevated putt on the other one. He took a little bit extra time and really thought about it. This one here, he just went back to what he knows.
I wonder if the wind was popping up a little bit on him.
Hole 17 up this, you want to call it a fairway if you will, but it's got hydro poles all the way up and down.
There's not much fairway there, Chris.
Yeah, the best play is if you go flex forehand, left or right of the pole, doesn't really matter. I would say right side's probably.
Yeah, I would say flex right side of the pole.
Yeah.
Something sort of Thunderbirdy in its stability, depending on how strong you are and how far you throw.
Exhibit A.
Yeah.
Do that.
Textbook. That's exactly what you want to do. If you are Gigi and you're not throwing a forehand, as I'm guessing he may not, I think the other play is a slow drifting turned over backhand that comes left of the pole and just sort of makes its way there.
Chris turns it over a little bit too much.
Yeah.
He'll be wide open to the basket, but this is one kind of looking for the two. There's nothing wrong with just throwing this one straight.
That's the other play if you're backhanding. It's just straight.
Yeah, 270 feet dead straight. Don't even worry about turning it right and just hit the center of the gap and make a long putt.
Yep.
I think that's what Gigi was trying to do, just coming up a little short.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that would have been a nice play too. I mean, even if you just put it dead straight, you got, 30 feet, 35 feet?
It's tough to commit to that when you know the basket's to the right, to just play it out and maybe even fade a bit left.
Yeah, I always try and draw my lines directly to the basket, not to a place that's like close to the basket. I'm like, how can I make it go exactly there?
Yeah.
And sometimes it bites you.
Yeah, and then, so, pro tip, learn how to putt. It'll help the game out a lot.
Yeah, I'm trying, Chris. I'm trying.
Oh,
Gigi gives it a good bid, but it looks like it got pushed down a little bit there by the wind.
That looked really good for 90% of the way there, and then the camera zoomed out, and it didn't even make it.
Unfortunately, really bad for the last 10%. For going in anyway. But right under the basket, he'll tap it in.
I really like Chris's putt. Just very, very rudimentary, very basic. Not a lot of extra movement, and quite a bit of pace.
Efficient. Yeah.
This Cameron is fighting with a tree.
Yeah, trying to establish his lie.
From a great drive too. This is probably as close as you're gonna get for the two on this basket.
Yeah, I think like perfect is just about where he is. You might get a few feet further, but even if you get closer, you might skip past the basket, right? So I don't think you're getting closer than inside the bullseye very often. That was a great drive, great birdie.
Cameron and Jake Voskamp are the only twos of the round on 17, which I can understand. It's a tight gap and it's tough to get in towards where you want to be.
Yeah, 100%.
Hole 18, our finishing hole of the round.
456, but you get a fourth stroke to make it a little bit easier. So we're looking at OB path here, and there is water to the right that you want to stay away from too. So pretty defined fairway.
Yeah, the right I don't think really comes into play unless you're
certainly not on the drive. I think on the upshot, depending on how you shape your shot, you might want to keep it a little
So they're just
Away
trying
from the
to
ball.
chip a backhand. All these MPO players here are trying to chip a backhand around the trees here to give themselves either a forehand approach or, well, a backhand turnover into the I don't call it an island. It's not an island.
Like a peninsula, maybe. Like it's sort of cut out a little. You got the path, you got the water, but a smaller green anyway.
You're definitely like, this is a definition of like almost like an island hopping style hole.
Yeah. Even if there's no defined island, it's that style for sure. Looks like we have Chris here Cam lining up a backhand. I was thinking we'd see a lot of forehands from places like this.
It might be just far. I'm guessing, as he catches a tree and goes OB.
Yeah, unfortunate kick.
He's smiling, but
I don't remember if we've seen a whole lot of forehanding out of Cam, but I mean,
he's been throwing quite a few forehands, quite proficiently too.
Well, it feels like this would be a place where you'd want to put one out there.
Ooh, Chris catches the tree, and
I think he just drops straight down.
No, you can see it up there, right at the top on the left.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't drop straight down,
drop
but
straight
I don't
down.
think it got past the tree, I guess is what I should have said. Yeah, so if you're throwing like Gigi, you want to be cognizant of that water there, but he just throws it dead perfect and hooks in and leaves himself, 20, 25 feet?
Pretty far. But
yeah, I always find it interesting watching how he draws lines as somebody that's really good at disc golf but doesn't really throw a forehand. Because I would never think to throw a disc there. I would just, for me, it's always a forehand going up the left and fading right. But he sometimes shows me lines at courses that I love playing that I didn't really think existed. Great upshot there from Chris as well.
Yeah, smart plays, just keeping it away from the OB. One thing you can't do is turn it over OB the entire way.
Yeah. And Cam is pulling it back from that out of bounds upshot there.
Interesting spot, because if he was like 10 feet farther up, he would have got the mark right off the road as opposed to behind the fence. But still a great shot.
Yep. Yeah, puts himself inside the bullseye as well. And now we see how we finish this first round of play here.
30-footer for Chris.
Oh, nice.
So good.
Finishes with authority. It's great. It's always a good feeling. Finish the first round with a nice putt.
That'll get you moving into the second round. It doesn't matter how, today, 100%. Tomorrow, whenever it'll be, you'll remember that putt, and it'll keep you moving.
Yeah, agreed.
Same with Gigi.
Double G, too. Great putt.
Chris taking the 4 after his drive. Luckily, he stayed in the tree and didn't kick OB, much like Cameron's did here as he takes
nice
his
putt from
5.
Cam. But yeah, nice for Cam to save a 5 and nice for Chris to save a 4. Not a gimme from where they both were sitting.
No, this is a very difficult hole. You have to put 2 perfect, not far, but perfect placement spots to get a chance at the birdie.
Yeah, well, what a beautiful course. Always nice hanging out with you, Chris, and nice commentating on some great golf at a place I haven't seen people play before.
So Gigi and Chris 2 down. Cameron unfortunately finished even, but still good round. Thomas Hums 4 down.
I'm never surprised seeing Thomas card a good round, but I guess we will see him in round 2 of the Riverside Rumble round 2.
That's true. So I am Chris Brown.
And I'm Galen Naidu Harris. We'll see you on the next one.